September 12, 1683. The walls of Vienna are crumbling. Ottoman banners fly over the outer bastions. 300,000 Muslim warriors surround a city of 60,000 starving souls. Western civilization is ours from total collapse. And then a sound. A thunderous roar from the Kahlenberg Heights. The ground trembles. 18,000 winged hussars crest the ridge, their eagle feathers streaming behind them like the wings of avenging angels. This is the moment that changed history. The largest cavalry charge ever recorded. The day Europe was saved. July 14, 1683. Vienna wakes to a nightmare. On the horizon, stretching as far as the eye can see, an army. The Grand Vizier Kara Mustafa Pasha leads 300,000 Ottoman soldiers, Turks, Tatars, Moldavians, Wallachians, the largest invasion force the Islamic world has ever assembled. Their objective is simple: conquer Vienna, the gateway to the heart of Europe. Because if Vienna falls, nothing stands between the Ottoman Empire and total European domination. The Danube River opens the path to Bavaria, to France, to the very gates of Rome. This isn't just another border war. This is a civilizational showdown. The cross versus the crescent. Christianity versus Islam. And Vienna is the pivot point of history. The city has only 16,000 defenders, citizens, militia, a few thousand professional soldiers. They're commanded by Count Ernst Rudiger von Starhemberg, a capable officer, but he knows the math. 16,000 against 300,000. It's not a question of if Vienna falls. It's when. The Ottoman army doesn't storm the walls immediately. They have time. Kara Mustafa orders a siege, a slow, methodical strangulation. First, they cut off all roads. No food enters. Then they begin mining, tunneling beneath Vienna's walls. This is psychological warfare at its most terrifying. The defenders can hear them. Underground, digging, getting closer. They try countermining, digging their own tunnels to intercept. Sometimes they succeed. Brief, brutal fights in pitch-black tunnels. More often, they fail. And when the Ottomans pack a tunnel with gunpowder and ignite it, entire sections of wall collapse, buildings crumble. By August, Vienna is starving. Horses are slaughtered for meat. Rats become delicacies. Disease spreads. The outer defenses have fallen. Ottoman janissaries control the suburbs. Their trenches creep closer to the inner walls daily. Count Starhemberg sends desperate messages. Riders slip through Ottoman lines at night, racing across the countryside. The message is always the same. Vienna cannot hold. Send help. For God's sake, send help. But who will come? The Holy Roman Emperor Leopold I has fled to safety. The German princes are divided, suspicious of each other. France is actually allied with the Ottomans. King Louis XIV sees the Turks as a useful distraction. Europe is eating itself. 500 miles north, in Poland, a king receives the call. Jan III Sobieski, age 54, a giant of a man. He's spent his entire life fighting on Europe's eastern frontier, holding the line. And now, he faces a choice. Vienna is not his city. Austria is not his ally. Sobieski has every political reason to let Vienna burn. But he's also a man who understands what's at stake. If Vienna falls, Poland will be next. This is about Christendom. Sobieski answers the call. He assembles the largest army Poland can field, 30,000 soldiers. At its core, the Winged Hussars. These are the sons of nobility, warriors who've trained since childhood. Each hussar is worth 10 ordinary soldiers. They wear steel plate armor that can stop musket balls. They carry hollow lances specially designed, 18 feet long. On their backs, wooden frames draped with eagle feathers. The wings, creating an unearthly howling sound, designed to terrify. In August, he marches south, meeting with Imperial forces. These men don't trust each other, but Sobieski welds them together. The relief army numbers about 84,000, less than a third of Kara Mustafa's force, but they have speed and surprise. Nobody expects them to come through the Vienna woods, dense, nearly impenetrable forest. Conventional wisdom says you can't move an army through them. Kara Mustafa has barely fortified the approaches from that direction. He expects the relief force to come from the north or east. September 11th. By nightfall, they emerge on the Kahlenberg Heights, looking down on the massive Ottoman camp sprawled below. September 12th, 1683. Dawn. Inside Vienna, the defenders are at the breaking point. The walls are breached. Janissaries prepare for assault. And then, someone sees smoke signals from the Kahlenberg. 3 signal fires. The prearranged message. We're here. We're coming. Hope explodes through Vienna. Church bells ring. People weep. Soldiers find strength they didn't know they had. Help is coming. Kara Mustafa sees the signals too. He tries to do both. Leaves part of his army besieging Vienna. Turns the rest to meet Sobieski. It's a fatal mistake. He outnumbers the relief army 3-1. But he's dividing his forces, fighting on to fronts. The battle begins with an artillery duel. Smoke fills the valleys. The roar is deafening. Then the infantry engage. By early afternoon, the battle is a stalemate. The infantry have fought themselves to exhaustion. Neither side can break through. Sobieski makes his move. He sees a gap, a narrow corridor between the Ottoman positions and their base. He raises his hand, 3 p.m. Sobieski gives the signal. 20,000 cavalry begin to move. Down the slopes of Kahlenberg, the ground shakes. The trot becomes a canter. The canter becomes a gallop. The howling begins. Wind rushing through eagle feathers. The wrath of God. Ottoman soldiers freeze. They fought cavalry before, but not like this. Not this many. Not this fast. Not with that sound. The Hussars hit the Ottoman left flank like an avalanche. 18-foot lances strike first. The kinetic energy is devastating. They wheel right, driving deeper into the Ottoman camp. Now they're among the tents. Chaos erupts. Panic spreads like wildfire. Kara Mustafa's bodyguards make a desperate stand. Elite janissaries. A shield wall around the command tent. Brutal, close quarters slaughter. Kara Mustafa flees. Abandons his tent. His treasure. His army. When an army sees its commander run, it's over. The largest Ottoman invasion. Shattered in a single afternoon by 20,000 horsemen, the largest cavalry charge in history. September 13th, morning. Vienna wakes to silence. Count Starhemberg climbs to the ramparts. Vienna is saved. Sobieski enters Vienna in triumph. "I came not to save you," he reportedly says, "but to save Christianity." The loot is staggering. Gold, jewels, exotic goods. Coffee beans Vienna's first exposure to the drink. The real prize is strategic. The aura of Ottoman invincibility is shattered. The tide has turned. The Ottoman Empire never again threatens Vienna. It begins its long, slow decline. The sick man of Europe. Today, if you visit Vienna, you'll find monuments everywhere. The Kahlenberg Heights have a church built to commemorate the victory. The real lesson of Vienna isn't about religious hatred. It's about cooperation. Vienna was saved because Europe united. The Winged Hussars represent the absolute peak of cavalry warfare, the last hurrah of the armored knight. For one glorious moment, in September 1683, it reached its zenith, changing the course of history. The largest cavalry charge in history. The day Europe was saved by the Winged Hussars and their thunder still echoes. If you love cinematic history documentaries, like, share, and subscribe, because some charges are immortal.